Are you a young genius? I'm definitely not. I'm just some old fat dude drinking beers on YouTube. What's up, everybody? It's the Ginger Yeti, and I'm checking in from home. What I have for you today is another beer from Branch Bone. I think I've done a few beers from Branch Bone before. They're out of Dayton, Ohio. Never been to the brewery. Haven't really been to any breweries out in that region of Ohio. I need to get down there. It's just kind of far away from me up here in Cleveland. Love to go down and check out that brewery. But this is, again, another beer from Branch Bone out of Dayton, Ohio, and this is the Young Genius. It's the Dortmunder Export Lager. And I am a fan of Dortmunder Lagers. Great Lakes Dortmunders. One of my go-to beers when I'm in a bar and there's not a whole lot of other selection. If they have it on draft, a lot of times I'll just choose that, especially in the airport. Cleveland Airport has a Great Lakes brewery bar. And when I used to hang out in the airport before I had lounge access, I would go to that all the time. So this beer here, like I said, it's Young Genius Dortmunder Export Lager. It is 5.6% ABV. There are no IBUs listed on the can. And there's not much else on the can. Just this little bit of artwork there. That's what the can looks like. No date on the bottom of the can, but I did buy this about a week ago at Rozi's Wine House for $3.60. So hopefully that means it's fresh, because they usually have pretty good selection of fresh beer. Their beer selection's always changing. So I assume their beers are fresh. I can't say I've ever had an out-of-date beer from Rozi's. If you're ever on the west side of Cleveland, make sure you go check out Rozi's Wine House. It's a great, great place. Although they do put the price tag on the mouth of the can, which I'm sure you all have heard me complain about so many times. Move this over here so I don't pour it into the can. So on Untappd, this gets a 3.82 with 222 check-ins. On Beer Advocate, it gets an NA. A little bit of a hard pour there. Probably not the best idea. At least I didn't overflow the glass. I almost did it, Don. Barely touched my big-ass beak in the head. A little bit of malty character there. Just a little faint hint of roasty malt. And that's about all I'm getting out of that. Color. That is surprisingly clear. I don't know. I expect it to be a little more cloudy than what it is. I don't know why. For some reason, I always expect Dortmunders to be darker, but they aren't. They're this kind of color. But I always, for some reason, think Dortmunder is going to be a darker color. That's probably about a 3 on my SRM chart. And over a finger's worth of big, pillowy, fine bubbled white head that is just not going anywhere. Yeah, just a malty character. Malty on the nose. Turn this can around so you can see the front. Let's take a drink, see if it's as good as the Great Lakes Dortmunder. Cheers, everybody. Light, almost on the verge of medium body. Some nice malty sweetness to it. But I did expect the maltiness to be a little bit stronger. But just some nice malty sweetness throughout. Almost a tinge of fruitiness on the back end. But that's nice, easy drinking. Maybe a very, very faint hint of bitterness on the back end that just cuts some of that sweetness down on the finish. This is a nice beer. I mean, it's malty. Again, some very, very subtle sweet fruitiness almost. And just a tiny bit of bitterness on the back end to cut back on that sweetness on the finish. It's another nice beer. Real nice beer. Maybe if I can find this again and think about it, I'll get one of these and get one of the Great Lakes and do a blind taste test. No promises on that. Maybe I'll do that, because this is a horns up for me. I like this beer, Branch Bone. Wow, I can't talk. Branch and Bone. There we go. Enunciate. Branch and Bone. Young Genius, Dortmunder Export Lager. Horns up for me. Another great beer. Haven't been disappointed from you guys yet. I really need to go down and check out your brewery. Have you been to Branch Bone? I don't really know anybody in the Dayton area or anybody that's near there. I mean, maybe good old Rod J has been up there at one point. See these guys sometimes at some of the beer festivals and things, but I definitely need to make a trek down to Dayton, hit some of those breweries up, and definitely hit this brewery up. Hope you all enjoy my video, and as always, embrace the adventure.